Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Basketball Conference, the ACC Football Podcast. My name's Joey Weaver. He's Mike McDaniel. Mike, week 6 is upon us. How you doing? You ready to preview some games?
This is a part of the year once you start getting into October where I get really frustrated how fast the season's moving. So,
yeah, we're done with the first month, and then you start looking at some records, and you're like, oh, we're almost halfway done? Jeez.
Yeah. But now we have a bunch of bye weeks and stuff. So, I mean, it'll drag on a little longer.
It kind of slows down a little bit. We are live, youtube.com/@the ACC Football Podcast. It is Wednesday, October the 1st. It is a few minutes before 11 o'clock on the East Coast. We got a bunch of people here with us in the chat already. Shout out to the people. Appreciate you joining us. Fun show in store for us tonight. Producer Scott is in the house. Producer Scott, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Came off a half day of work, played 18 holes in absolutely pristine weather. Driver and irons were good. Couldn't make a putt or chip to save my life today. 98. So we're doing okay.
Hey,
that could be worse. I'll say I myself, I have a doctor's appointment at 9:10 in the morning on Friday.
What time's your tea time? 10:10?
No, 9:10.
That is the doctor's appointment.
Yeah. My doctor's name, ironically, is my playing partner, it turns out. So we'll see how all that goes. But yeah, 'tis the season to get out there and hit the links. So, go hit them.
Before the leaves fall and you can't find your ball in the middle of the fairway.
Right, yeah.
That's okay. I don't hit the fairway.
Right, that's true. That's true.
That's my secret, Captain.
Yeah.
Appreciate the people once again joining us here live. Hit the subscribe button if you've not already. That would really be a big help for us. We're aiming for 1,000 subscribers this year. We're all the way up to 626. You guys doing us a lot of favors. Please keep it up. We really, really appreciate it. Hit the bell icon. You want to find out when we're going to go live next. We'll probably go live Saturday night to recap these games. We have been doing that a lot the last couple of years. Good way to polish off the day, as it were. And there might be even a game that we need to talk about as it's happening Saturday night, but we'll get into that here in just a little bit. Mike, Scott, anything else before we get into a Rhoback look back at week 5?
Let's just do the ad read.
Let's do the ad read. Go to Rhoback.com. Use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order. They've got all sorts of wonderful performance wear, T-shirts, polos, Q-zips, hoodies, sweatshirts, athleisure wear. Everything is really comfortable, really high quality, all over at Rhoback.com. Once again, use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off. Go check out their game day collection. Again, they got a ton of different polos and shirts and such for the various teams in the ACC. Producer Scott wearing his right now. How's that feel, Producer Scott? It looks great.
It's very comfortable. It's very cozy. Put it on after my post-golf shower. I'm a comfortable boy.
Attaboy. Last time, Rhoback.com. Use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order. Mike, Rhoback look back. Week 5. Anything that we need to hit on? I know it was a big week in Blacksburg as it relates to the athletics department.
Virginia Tech passed the $229.2 million athletic budget increase on a 13-1 vote. So thank God.
Is any of that money allocated to you? Do you get any of that?
No, actually, it's allocated from me. They want more of my money. So yeah. 4 years of education wasn't enough. They want more of it.
There you go. I mean, big deal for Virginia Tech, right? Making a clear commitment, a public commitment to trying to do everything they can to commit and compete athletically. And I mean, the basketball program been doing pretty well the last few years. But, obviously football has been not on a positive trajectory, we'll say, in the last 5 to 7 years, really. So hopefully this is a good step towards changing that trend.
Quite the negative trajectory, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Trading sideways, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. I don't really have a whole lot else on week 5. I feel like we got into a lot of it. I mean, it was a pretty extensive recap that we did for just 7 games. It was an eventful week in the ACC, that's for sure. So we got a lot more games this weekend. Scott, anything you wanted to hit on from last week? Are we good to move on here?
Just real quick, not from last week. My look back is on the past year. I made it. I didn't think I could do it. And I appreciate you fellas for helping me get here today. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But these guys do. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
I'm glad that this show was able to provide a much needed distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So.
And go Guardians.
And go Guards.
Well,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was the lock of the century today. Was the
I'm going to need somebody to root for in the ALDS after what the Red Sox did to me tonight. This is brutal.
You got another one tomorrow.
We're throwing a rookie. I mean, I'm less than optimistic, but we'll see.
Scott, did you buy the ice cream helmet yet?
I did.
Sweet.
Beautiful.
Looking forward to seeing that here on the old podcast.
I hope it comes in time and they're still alive that I can wear it. And if not, I'll still wear it anyway.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Elephant in the room. I mean, let's just.
Hi, Cam.
Hi, Cam. Cam, you want the truth? You want the truth?
We love all of Cam's teams very specifically.
You want the truth? Totally forgot.
I didn't forget. I was just waiting for Miami to lose this weekend, and then he can come on.
Okay, all right.
That's what I was waiting on. Yeah.
There's hate in Joey's heart. There's not hate in my heart, Cameron.
There you go. On that note, let's take one last look at last week's locks. Mike, you had a 1-2 week. You had Florida State minus the 6.5 in Charlottesville. You had Cal plus 5.5 against Boston College. And you had Virginia Tech and NC State over 57.5.
Never close on the Tech game. Never threatened.
Yeah, never really got close. A 1-2 week, you've got 6-8 on the year on the locks. I was 1-1 on the week. I had Florida State and Virginia over 60.5.
Almost doubled that.
And I had NC State minus the 10.5. I am 5-6 on the season on locks. You can tell that we're good at this because we're all under 500 on our picks. Finally, producer's pick of the week. Pitt, the Panthers were up 17-0. Plus 5.5 did not come in. Producer Scott 0-1 on the week, 2-3 on the year.
It's tough.
Shame.
Very good.
Only-
The one thing I would like to say is that I seem to be a lot better at picking games outside the ACC.
Yeah.
From a gambling standpoint this year. So take that for what it's worth.
Well, that's what happens when we've got the ACC mush that we talked about the other night. Just Lord knows what any of these teams are going to do and be. That's something that I do need to talk about at some point in this podcast is like, I don't know that we really give enough credit to the idea that every team is 12 different teams every season. Like they're never the same team week over week. And so just because you look great one week and you look terrible the next week doesn't really mean you're either one of them. So there's a lot of evidence I think we've seen of that already this season. And I'm sure we'll see some of it this week as well.
Yep. I agree.
Good to move on to week 6.
Here we go.
Let's do it. We got 8 games this week to preview. We got 15 ACC teams in action. Georgia Tech and Stanford on bye weeks this week. We got 7 conference games and just one lonely FCS game that we'll kind of tack on to the very end. I don't know that this week it really makes sense to go chronologically. I think we kind of just go in priority order, maybe.
Sure.
So let's do that. Let's start with the headliner. And obviously with Cam in the chat, it can only be one game, one of our very favorites of the entire year. The number 3 Miami Hurricanes on the road in Tallahassee, taking on the number 18 Florida State Seminoles. This is at 7:30 on ABC. The Hurricanes, a 4.5-point road favorite here, totals 53.5. I'm a little like this number has come down, if I'm not mistaken. I think it opened at like 6.5 or something. And for Florida State coming off the loss and looking like they did, and just one of the most, I would say, jumbled resumes of the entire country of like highs and lows and like what are they or aren't they? Very interesting to me to see this line come down towards a pick 'em. I know what this game has been historically. Cam has told us for years that this game basically just doesn't, like, logic doesn't really apply to it a lot of times. I don't know. What's your approach on this game here, Mike, with kind of the way these teams have played so far this year?
All right, so Cam mentioned open at 4.5, went up to 6.5, back to 4.5. Thank you, Cam.
Yeah, there you go.
What do I make of this? Miami's been more consistent. I think it probably goes without saying. They're coming off a bye. Florida State, that was a mess last week, defensively especially. I didn't get it on defense. Talked about that in the recap. Did not understand it. This was a game where I thought Virginia would score some. They have a good offense for sure, but I didn't think Florida State would at times look outclassed on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, that was kind of scary how that looked. At the same time, like, I get it was the opener, but that Alabama win could age pretty well. I mean, Alabama looked really good against Georgia. They look like one of the teams to beat in the SEC in the early going. I mean, we'll see. There's a lot of football left, but they look that way. And Ty Simpson's been really good for Alabama since then, right? So it feels like that's going to be a win that's going to age pretty well. So is this a situation where Florida State was in just a look-ahead spot, short week? Like, is that all that it was? I say probably not, because I was a little bit concerned about how the defense looked. I don't think you're looking ahead and giving up the chunk plays you were giving up defensively. If you thought you were going to have issues against Virginia in that regard, you're definitely going to have issues against Miami and their offense and all their playmakers with how Carson Beck has looked so far this year. I think Florida State plays Miami close here. Would not be surprised if they went out and won this game. But Miami, 2 weeks to prepare, much needed bye week, get folks healthy. I know Beck was looking a little banged up last time out. You know, get him right. I know you're going on the road. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere there. But give me Miami minus a 4.5. I think they win this game by a touchdown. That's where I'm at. I don't have a lean on the total. Maybe over on the total, slightly over, given how Florida State's defense looked last week. And I think Miami's defense has been pretty good so far, but give up a few big plays to Florida State's offense, maybe. So maybe lean over. And I like Miami minus 4.5. I think they win this game by like a touchdown. I will not be gambling on this game at all. No intention to do so. I just don't have a really strong feel of what Florida State is right now, which is giving me a little bit of pause. But defensive effort last week was concerning enough to make me think that, all right, this is kind of a put up or shut up time for Norvell. He needs this one really bad. This after that loss, right? And if you lose this rivalry game back-to-back weeks, it's like that Alabama win is almost totally undone with the fan base, I think. So puts you in kind of a precarious spot if you don't win this one at home. So I think pressure is on Norvell here to deliver, and we're going to see if that Castellanos-led offense is going to be enough.
Yeah. The biggest point of concern, I think, for me with Florida State coming off the Virginia game was if you go look at at Virginia's availability from that game, they have a borderline all-conference center who was not playing in that game, and I think there was another one of their starting offensive linemen was not playing. Virginia's backups on the offensive line were moving the ball in the run game against Florida State. Like, that is concerning, especially before the Noles go up against this big, bad offensive line from Miami and what they've shown that they can do against other teams so far this year. I mean, that's the biggest point of concern for me. And the run game is one of those things, especially that, like, I don't know how much that's like an effort focus thing as much as just, can you do it or can't you up front? That's the biggest thing. But again, I kind of mentioned this with Miami a couple weeks ago, is like, and it's the same thing with Florida State, is, again, when you look at, this is the point in the season where we've got like a few different data points on both of these teams. But I feel like both of them, it's a little bit of a Rorschach test of, like, you can kind of see what you want to see. Like, yes, Florida State looked great and demolished, or beat Alabama comfortably in week 1. Then they turned around and lost to Virginia, in a kind of a weird spot that you really weren't looking for that. Miami knocked off Notre Dame week 1, national runners up, great defense, all that. Well, now Notre Dame hasn't really looked great in the time since. So, what does that actually mean? Well, they beat a ranked South Florida. Well, South Florida was, they beat a iffy, very incomplete Florida team the week before. Probably got a little bit more credit than they deserve. And then Florida, defensively, really good. Offensively, a mess. So, again, it's I don't really know how much credit to give either of these teams necessarily. Which one of them is definitively really good? I feel more confident in Miami that they are really good. And I think it is the play in the trenches that is probably the biggest difference maker there. But I just can't help but think, first of all, wouldn't it be just perfectly ACC for Florida State to lose last weekend to Virginia in front of God and everyone, fall down in the rankings? Oh, maybe they're coming back to earth. Maybe the Alabama win was a bit of a sham. And then this week to host a top 5 Miami that looks like a potential national title contender and beat them. Is there anything more ACC that you can think of than that? Because that just, the way the season's going so far with this league, can you not see that happening? I could.
It's going to be really fun when that happens and the national media says, are any teams good in the ACC? That's going to be the first thing. Is anybody good? That's going to be the really lame take they'll be shouting from the mountains.
This number being what it is, maybe it was a look-ahead spot. Give me Florida State in the points.
Jesus.
I'm not locking this up. Again, this is not logical, really, in a lot of ways. This doesn't make sense, honestly. If you couldn't stop the run against Virginia's banged-up offensive line, how are you going to stop it against Miami's big bad boys down there in the trenches? That kind of thing, just none of it makes any sense. But I don't know, something about this game, logic doesn't apply. This conference, logic doesn't really apply. This line, something just seems off about it. As Cam mentioned, it started at this number. It went up because, of course, it did. Florida State looked terrible last weekend. And then it came back down. Somebody knows something, it feels like. Florida State at home, ultra ACC nonsense spot. Give me the Noles and the points.
Is this the best offense that Miami has played?
Ooh, yes. Yes.
Well, yeah, you're going to be caught between this one and one other game.
Probably Notre Dame. I don't think South Florida is really in that.
No. I mean, it's South Florida is a fun story, but I mean, they're really good for a G6, And even that was CJ Carr game 1 on the road. I mean, Carr's been a lot better since then, obviously, but
again, this is the whole thing. We're 4 games in. We've got something of a sample set, but you can kind of make of it what you want to make of it, right? And so you're just kind of, I don't know. I just feel like we're kind of guessing at this point of what to make of it all. Give me Florida State in the points. I don't know if they necessarily win, but I do think that they will give a more inspired effort than we got last week in Charlottesville.
I agree with that.
And give me the over.
Yeah,
give me over 53.5. I think this is one of those things where I think in recent years we've seen where, kind of relatively high-end teams play these games. And even though the defenses might be pretty good, the offenses are still going to find some ways to score. So I think this is maybe this is a 31-27 Miami kind of win or something like that, where Florida State covers, over hits, but ultimately the Hurricanes win. I don't want any part of betting this game one way or the other.
No way.
It's going to be entertaining to watch without betting it. And there are enough questions of, I think, validity with both of these teams that I just don't really feel that comfortable with the prediction one way or the other. So Florida State in the over for me, Miami in the over for Mike. I'm not interested in locking anything up here either way.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else before we move on?
great game. Really looking forward to
it. If you're trying to find the one window this week that you need to sit down and watch, this is the one. I don't even know what else is in the evening window. I mean, I guess you got a late night game with Cal and Duke, but I think this is the only actual evening game. The 7:30 game. Watch this one though. This is an ACC Game of the Year contender. So
I was gonna skip Miami, Florida State, and make sure I'm sitting down having a beer for Duke and Cal. That's what I want to be locked in for.
Yeah. All right. Again, Florida State in the over for me, Miami in the over for Mike. Good to move on here.
I am.
Noon on ESPN, the Clemson Tigers, the unranked Clemson Tigers, things we get used to saying around here, on the road, taking on Bill Belichick's North Carolina Tar Heels. Clemson, a 14.5-point favorite in this game, totals 46.5. Both of these teams off of a bye. Both of these teams, are they both 1-3, or is North
Carolina's 2-2?
2-2. Okay, yeah, but yeah, the two wins are Charlotte and Richmond. So, does this feel a little bit like a Dabo's Last Stand kind of situation of like, you better get in there and cover and like look good? You're off a bye week. Everything has been coming off the rails so far this year. I realize this is 14.5 on the road, but with what North Carolina has looked like, you better get in there and give your people something to feel good about.
How bad is Clemson, man? So I was
it doesn't
asking
make
you guys
sense
for it to only be 14.5. They were the preseason ACC title favorite. They've now fallen to the point where first year Bill Belichick, with how bad Carolina's looked, you are only barely a 2-touchdown favorite here on the road. How bad is Clemson?
What's funny is you mentioned that. And if I could go find a look-ahead line from like July, I wouldn't be surprised if the line were something like this. I just think that both teams have fallen down the power rankings since then. And so it's still about this spread, but it's, the overall quality is just lower than we thought it was going to be.
I mean, we're nationally covering Carolina TCU like it was the Super Bowl, and they're just trying to like run a coherent offense. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to lay him with Clemson here. I haven't seen it with Carolina's offense, right? With Gio Lopez. I think the offense they're running doesn't suit the quarterback they went and got in the portal. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think Max Johnson is the best guy to run a pro-style offense. On top of that, too, like Clemson defensively, they haven't been elite, but they've been good enough to make this a problem for Clemson, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Carolina's defense hasn't been great either, but I feel like Clemson's offense, they should be able to find a way to score some points here. Jordan Hudson's going to find me and hurt me for this pick, Mike.
Quick point of order. Is Jordan Hudson Bill's girlfriend, or is that the wide receiver that I was accidentally mentioning back in the summer? That was Jordan Moore. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Jordan Hudson is the girlfriend. Okay. We're good.
I don't think my wife would like that. Yeah. I think this is kind of I don't want to call it a get right game for Clemson, but I think they'll be good. They'll be good enough here to cover 14.5. This is another game I want no part of gambling at all. Like, okay, total 46.5. Lean is under, right? I'm leaning under, but at the same time, what if Clemson just figures it out on offense here, scores like 35 points? You're going to sail over. Like Carolina's going to score 10 points here, 14 points here. Like, you get into the mid-30s with Clemson, this thing's going over.
Do we know what the status of Gio Lopez is at this point?
I mean, he has been banged up.
Like, in a weird way, I feel better for North Carolina if he's not playing.
I mean, I would too.
Like, with the way that Max Johnson has looked so far versus what Lopez has looked like. It sounds like North Carolina, you'll never believe this, Mike, but a Bill Belichick program is not giving a ton of information to the media. So, yeah, we'll find out, I guess, more later this week or, Saturday morning or never. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think the most important point to me, I think, is Clemson's defense. Because regardless of what Clemson's offense is able to accomplish here, I realize that Clemson's defense has at times been kind of disappointing this season. Man, there is so little upside to this North Carolina offense right now.
I know.
I mean, if they get to 17 points in this game, it might be a failure for Clemson's defense, right? Like, this should be a dominant effort from that side of the ball. That said, Carolina's defense, pretty unimpressive so far this year.
Yeah, not great.
Like, this is probably – Clemson's played Troy. This is probably the worst defense that Clemson has played so far. Is that fair? It might be. It might not be.
I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah. Give me Clemson minus a 14.5. Let's lock it up.
Lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
14. Like, with what we have seen so far from North Carolina, I don't think that they are capable of making such a leap in this bye week. Clemson, I do think, is capable of making a leap. And I do think they should be motivated to make this as painful as possible for North Carolina, like on multiple levels, right? Like, anyone here wants to make it painful on North Carolina with all the shenanigans around Bill and everything that sucked up a bunch of unnecessary attention all the offseason. But then Clemson needing to feel good about themselves moving the rest of the season, I think that they might just lay it on North Carolina here. I think this could be like 38-10, something like that. Just an absolute run through for Clemson. So lay 14.5. We're locking that up with the Tigers, and give me the over. I think Clemson might get a lot of the way there themselves. That's a pretty low number, and Clemson could put up 49 by themselves in this game. I think that's entirely on the table.
Yep.
Thoughts on the total here?
I think if I'm betting Clemson here, I have to lean over.
It's probably right.
Yeah.
All right. Clemson and the over for the both of us. I've got Clemson locked up. Anything else, Mike, before we move on?
Let's keep it moving.
Let's do it. At 3:30 on ESPN2, the number 24 Virginia Cavaliers on the road in Louisville taking on the Cardinals. Cardinals a 6.5-point home favorite here, total 62.5. Mike, always a good sign when you got a ranked team that is nearly a touchdown underdog against an unranked team. Always worth keeping in mind. Letdown spot of all letdown spots here for Virginia, although this is probably one of the 2 to 3 toughest games left on their schedule at the very least. As I look at this might be the very toughest game left on their schedule. So kind of unfortunate having to then, get up again after a super emotional, historical night on your own field a week ago, going up against a Louisville team that, again, I feel like has been led by its defense. Virginia obviously seems led by its offense. I think the difference here is I do think that Louisville's offense is probably more capable of scoring than Virginia's defense is capable of preventing it. And so if I'm trying to do some handicapping here of kind of why Louisville's favored by this number, I think all that plus the letdown factors, I think where we come out, if that makes sense to you, Mike.
Does, yeah. I think I do have a little more confidence in Louisville's defense based on what I've seen so far this year. I think that's probably the thing I'm most sure about outside of like the offense are probably going to score some points here. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and lock up over 62.5, Joey.
Oh,
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
I like the over here too, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of points. Don't think it's going to be an issue, though. I think we're going to get there. I think Virginia's offense, it's got a pretty high floor. I think Louisville's offense also has a pretty high floor with their running back room and quite honestly how Miller Moss has looked at times this year so far. Like I think they have a team that, a unit offensively can score some points. I acknowledge the letdown spot. I acknowledge the fact that Louisville probably has a better defense, but if you're giving me 6.5 with what I just saw in Charlottesville last Friday night, and Louisville had to storm back against Pittsburgh on the road, I think I'm going to take those points. I think I'm going to take the 6.5. I think Louisville does win because, letdown factor, Louisville, I think, is pretty good. And I don't have the level of trust in Virginia's defense that I have in Louisville's defense, but I think Virginia can hang here. And I think it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to be high scoring. And I'm going to take Virginia plus a 6.5, but over is my favorite play here by a lot. It's one of my favorite plays this week.
Can I ask a completely disrespectful question?
Yes, please.
Is this the best team from Virginia that Louisville has played so far this year?
Is this the best team from Virginia on Louisville's schedule? Because there's a few to choose from.
Phrased differently, is Virginia better than James Madison?
I don't. I think they are.
By the way, that sounds really disrespectful. That more is about how highly I think of James Madison. They looked really good in that game.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Mike. Give me the points with Virginia. I don't have that level of trust with Louisville, especially on offense. Do I really trust Miller Moss to play a clean game for 45 of 60 minutes? Not really. He's been very up and down so far this year. And so even if, I don't know, maybe let's say that Louisville does have an 11-point lead. It's 35-24 with 2 minutes left and Virginia has the ball. I do still think Virginia can go down and score, and the backdoor cover situation has to be in play with the Hoos.
Yep.
I think a lot of reasons to take the points with Virginia, but man, it's not lost on me that you have a ranked team getting almost a touchdown here against an unranked team, and Vegas is just willing to give you those points because I don't know. I feel like this is one of those that a couple years ago when you had the Bear and Stanford Steve had their podcast, and usually Felica would have some numbers on, ranked teams versus unranked teams that are a dog of 6 points or more, or 11 and 1,000 against the spread or whatever. They never cover basically. So I don't know. Interesting spot, I think, for both of these teams. Louisville, interesting to me still that Louisville 4-0, still unranked. We'll see. They play this game. They've got a bye week, and then they're at Miami after that. So we're going to learn a lot, I think, about Louisville here in these next two games. But this is the front half of it. So we will find out. Virginia and the over for both of us. Mike has the over locked up. I don't think I feel comfortable enough with either of these picks to lock anything up here.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Let's move on. And with no Georgia Tech game this week, let's remind you that all these previews brought to you by section103.com. Use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. They got things with the official Tech Gold, all the officially licensed word marks. They got polos, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers. They got things for men, women, children, babies, something for the whole family. Get it all, section103.com. Once again, use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. All sorts of new things popping up all the time. They just had a new Welcome to the Flats shirt that came out. All their shirts, super comfortable, super high quality. I love mine. If you're looking forward to some cool weather coming here very soon, go get a Coach hoodie. I wear mine all the time. That is my go-to hoodie in my closet. You will see it here on the show as soon as it gets below, 98 degrees here in Houston, which, one of these years, I'm sure it will. In any case, once again, section103.com, use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Stephen and gang. Appreciate their support. And shout out once again with the LSU and Georgia Southern launches that they've done here in the last couple of months. Expanding the family. People finding out all about Section 103 magic.
They got some good, comfortable stuff.
They sure do. Noon on the ACC network. The Boston College Eagles on the road in Pittsburgh. Big catch-up bottle taking on the Pitt Panthers. Panthers a 6.5-point favorite here. Total is 58.5. Both of these teams coming off of losses. Both of these teams have quarterbacks with expectations. Neither of these quarterbacks really delivering on those expectations. Vibes are pretty weird, I think, around both of these programs right now, Mike. What do we do with a matchup like this?
You know what, Joey?
Yep.
I think these teams are cheeks.
Oh.
They're bad.
Secretly cheeks? Becoming less secret every week.
I mean, I said that there's a chance that Pitt goes 4-8 is a declaration I made on the recap.
Yeah.
Last week. So
that's a take.
I'm very out on Pittsburgh, which means if I'm saying that Pitt's going to go 4-8, I have to take Boston College plus 6.5 here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on BC plus 6.5. The way that Pitt lost last week, I know that BC lost in pretty terrible fashion as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that Pitt built that lead last week and then just pissed it away.
Yeah.
Like, at least with the BC game, it was a little more back and forth. That Pitt game, they build the big lead. They're up 17. They let Louisville come storming back. And then the second half offensively, Pitt just kind of fell apart. Just a real mess. Boston College obviously had that. It was a back and forth game with Cal. They had the really, really bad red zone interception at the end. Is this just kind of what Boston College is this year? I mean, maybe. But is there a chance that Pitt lets that loss linger? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I don't say the same thing about Boston College is that, you know, they lose that game to Michigan State, and we had the conversation, right, of like, is BC going to have this loss linger for them? And they travel to Stanford, and offense looks like total ass, and you're like, all right, well, good news is they're going to a bye, and then they get Cal. Well, now you've lost again, right? You're staring 1-3 at the face. Your only win is against Fordham. You've lost the only 3 teams with a pulse. So we're going to find out here if Boston College is really, really, really bad, right? Or if they are just kind of in a rut. They've lost a couple close games is what it is. Now, 2 of those 3 losses, remember, have come by a total of 6 points, right? They lost by 4 points against Cal, obviously 2 in that crazy multiple overtime game against Michigan State. I am leaning in a game that should be a coin flip. I think Pittsburgh is the better of the 2 teams here. But I think if you're going to give me Boston College plus a 6.5, I'm going to ride with it. I'm going to take the points, and we're going to find out if Boston College is one of the worst teams in the ACC. Like, that's the answer we're going to get this week.
Yeah.
Like, definitively. How low is this going to, like, what's the bottom? Like, where's this going to bottom out at?
Yeah. With the way that these 2 teams have lost games so far this year, like, keep in mind, Boston College blowing that lead to Cal last week. Boston College also blew the lead to Michigan State and took them to double overtime or whatever it was there earlier in the year. Like, Pitt had a lead and otherwise played with Louisville the whole game and lost that game. Like, it's not like they're just totally terrible from a quality standpoint. And yet I look at these records and I look at the fact that they do keep finding ways to lose. And I kind of feel like both of these are probably, if we're trying to draw lines at, like, you know, top half, bottom half of the league, they're probably at the top half of the bottom half of the league. Like, they're below average, if even slightly, in the league. I'm not going to try to overcomplicate this. I kind of have no idea. Either one, Boston College could absolutely win this game. Like,
yeah.
Pitt could absolutely win this game. But what I do know is that I don't think either of these teams deserves to be favored, and I don't think either of these teams is anyone I want to lay points with. So Boston College getting points, sure. Give me the Eagles plus 6.5. Like, these are about like the same team. Either one of them might get up to a big lead, might give it up and screw it up. Like, I have no idea. This might be one of the dumber, more entertaining games of the day in just completely inappropriate fashions. So, yeah. Give me the points at Boston College. I have no idea. I'll say Pitt wins close, but just because they're the home team, and Boston College, like, they do have Clemson coming to town next week. So that, I mean, you could say it's a look ahead, but like, you're 2-2 1-3 and staring down the barrel of a pretty brutal back half of the schedule. So you can't really be looking ahead to anything. You need wins now.
Right.
I don't know how to handicap this like at all. Basically, both these teams are a bit of a mess. So Boston College and the points. Give me the under as well. I think both offenses will find enough ways to screw it up that keeps the total a little bit low here. But we'll see. One of these teams has to win, so we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm leaning under with you as well.
Yeah, Boston College and the under for the both of us. Anything else here, Mike?
I think we're good to continue.
All right. Want to do some ACC After Dark?
Let's do it.
10:30 p.m. on ESPN. Decent shot that we're recapping in the second half. So once again, if you're watching us in the comments, hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. You'll be notified if and when we go live Saturday night to recap these games, and we can maybe watch the end of this game together. So come hang out. Because at 10:30 on ESPN, the Duke Blue Devils on the road in Berkeley playing in a classic ACC matchup against the Cal Golden Bears. Blue Devils, a 2.5-point road favorite here, totals 55.5. This is a hell of a road trip for Duke.
It is.
And, man, you got to have some faith, I think, in the Blue Devils if you're laying points on the road in the middle of the night all the way across the country. I'm kind of leaning towards Cal here, Mike.
Yep. Cal's the pick. Plus a 2.5. Long road trip for Duke. Kind of. It's like, it really sums it up. I mean, based on what I've seen, Duke's been so up and down. They've played poorly in road spots this year. They're really having trouble putting together a complete game. We were obviously able to finally see it last week. Now, I will say the turnover thing, right? They've cleaned up the turnovers the last 2 weeks. That's why, they beat NC State and Syracuse. But I think we're almost pricing in to this line the fact that Duke won by 5 touchdowns against Syracuse last week on the road.
Yeah.
Obviously a very wounded Syracuse team. This feels like a pretty big ask, and it's not like Duke doesn't have the team to hang there. I think they do, obviously, but I think Cal, with how JKS has looked, how he rebounded last week, how much better he played, it's a home game. Give me Cal.
This is the first home game for Cal here in a couple weeks, if I'm not mistaken. They had the road spot last week at Boston College. The week before, they were in San Diego at San Diego State. They haven't played at home since they beat Minnesota there here a few weeks ago. So nice of them not to have to travel this week. I would be remiss if I did not bring up the handicapping element that I did when Duke played Syracuse last week, being that was going to be Ricky Collins' first start and like really first significant action as the college football quarterback going up against Manny Diaz's defense, which feels like a precarious spot. And obviously our guy, Jaron Chiave Sungapoldatele.
Bang.
How do we feel? Is that okay?
7.5.
I'll take it.
Cool.
he's had moments, been a little bit up and down, but obviously still a freshman taking on a Manny Diaz defense. So it's not his first action, but he's still young and learning, limited on experience, we'll say. So that does give me some pause, but I'm with you, Mike. Give me Cal, the short home dog. Speaking of which, is Cal our home field apparel home dog of the week?
They are.
Give me the Bears on the field to win this game. Cal's defense probably not getting enough credit, by the way. I think that's a
good defense.
Yeah. Low-key solid defense that I think this is a really good matchup and a really good test for both of these teams that I think are relatively evenly matched in a lot of ways. So give me the home team getting a couple of, 2.5, but I think that Cal wins the game on the field outright. And despite both defenses being pretty good, give me the over. I think this could get a little bit pointsy, get 34-28, something like that gets above that 55.5 number.
I'm going to go under because I think an under game favors Cal.
That's true. That's fair. Fair enough. Feels great looking at our picks so far, and we're 5 games in, and I've taken 4 overs. Real sharp handicapping on this show.
That's what the people come here for. The losing records against the spread.
Exactly. All right, Cal for the both of us. I think Cal outright, right, Mike?
Cal outright, yeah. I mean, there's no reason to say Cal's going to win it by like a point or two. What's fun in that? There
you go. Cal outright for the both of us. I've got the over. Mike has the under. He's probably the smart one on this, honestly, if I'm really looking at this objectively.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, should be a fun watch there Saturday night. A good little finishing touch on the day. We'll see. Let's go to Blacksburg at is it 1 o'clock?
It
is 1
o'clock.
At
1 p.m. Eastern.
Everyone's favorite TV time slot for college football games, 1 o'clock on the CW, the Cheeks W, as we used to refer to it.
Yes.
The Wake Forest Steamin' Deeks off a very near miss against my Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on the road, taking on the other half of the Tecmo Bowl, the Virginia Tech Hokies. Hokies a 6.5 point home favorite, totals 50.5. Okay, look. Hokies looked good last week.
They did.
Played well, got the win against NC State. I liked what I saw from Wake Forest last week. Like, they came out of the bye week a little bit shot out of a cannon.
You hope so, because otherwise
yeah.
Right.
This is what I tell myself, Mike. This is how I sleep at night is, oh, yeah, Wake looked good.
Yeah.
Wake looked really good. No, but, like, honestly, they did. Robbie Ashford had a couple moments throwing the ball. I'm assuming he's playing here, by the way. And I'm assuming that Damon Claiborne was okay after he got injured and kind of walked off the field there right before the final play of the game. But Wake might be figuring a couple things out. 4 games in, and again, 1 game off a bye week. They looked quicker. They looked a little bit rested on the road here. I realized that Virginia Tech looked good last week, Mike. I don't know that I'm feeling lay 6.5 points with them good just yet.
Agree. Give me Wake. I do think Virginia Tech wins this game by like a field goal, maybe, but yeah, I'm with you. We got to see more out of Virginia Tech before we're going to start laying points. I mean, like, come on, guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were a 10.5 point dog last week, and they won outright. That was fantastic, but you got to do it 2 weeks in a row
against a Wake Forest team with a pulse, right? Like,
right, yeah, right. Now,
not a total pushover situation.
Is there a letdown factor with Wake Forest coming into this game? The way you lost last week, had a chance to win at the buzzer, or are you coming out of that game more encouraged by how you played, right? Thinking that, okay, we had a chance to beat a ranked team, went for 2, didn't get it. Okay, we live with the result. Now we have to go to Blacksburg against a Virginia Tech team that's reeling. Are we going to get up for that game, right? So I guess that's the other side of it. Whereas I think when you look at Virginia Tech, they seem to be rallying around Montgomery, but I don't know if that's going to amount to like a lot of wins. Right now, you win this game, great. You get a little momentum going into Georgia Tech, and then you see if you can like launch your season forward, right? You probably need to win. You definitely need to win this game, and you probably need to win next week against Georgia Tech for any shot at bowl eligibility, right? Any outside chance of making that happen. So there's that side of it too, but I gotta see it to believe it, man. And I think this Virginia Tech roster is better than Wake's if you looked at it on paper before the season. But now Virginia Tech's playing a bunch of freshmen. Now the young guys have looked good, right? They've come in, they've played well, but is that going to be sustainable? I don't know. We'll see. I am interested in the under 50.5 here. Like Robbie Ashford, I understand he made a couple throws last week, but it's still Robbie Ashford. Virginia Tech's going to be gearing up for the run. I really liked how they looked against Hollywood Smothers last week. They kind of took him totally out of the game. If you take DeMont Claiborne totally out of this game, you're probably going to cover. And then on the Virginia Tech side, like I don't think their offense has the ceiling, right, to score in the 30s, which is what you may need to do to push this game over. So, yeah, I'm interested in the under 50.5. In fact, Joey, let's go ahead and lock up under 50.5 too.
Ooh,
another under.
Lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
Total. I locked up an over earlier. Whatever. It's neither here nor there. Under 50.5 to play. And yeah, give me Wake. I think Virginia Tech wins though. I think they third win of the year. I think they figured it out. But yeah, give me under 50.5 some favorite play here.
I think I agree with that. I mean, I could totally see a scenario where the Hokies win by 10, right? Like that's easily in play. I could see Wake winning this game outright. I think that's in play, right? Like there's a number of results here, but I'm kind of with you that I think the defenses are probably better than the offenses right now. And I'll be a little curious to see Virginia Tech in game 2 under Philip Montgomery. Like maybe something changed when Brent Pry exited the building. Like entirely possible that philosophically the way we game plan and the way we play calls and choose to go for fourth downs and, you know, that kind of thing. Like maybe there are some differences that we start to notice, you know, after last week, but I'm with you feeling like the under is probably the best play. Mike, how do you feel about double barrel locks?
Hell yeah. We haven't done many of those this year so far.
Under 50.5, lock it up.
Lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
And yet, if we were really smart, as Lee Nobody points out, we would be betting on everyone's favorite South Korean baseball team, the CW Underdogs, because historically, I mean, it's just like a can't miss type of thing, right?
Are you feeling frisky?
I'm not feeling that frisky. No.
Okay. Not for this game.
If you told me that Wake was going to come out looking like they looked last week, maybe. But as you mentioned, there is potential letdown. You're going on the road. You feel like something got stolen from you all week. You know, I don't know. Like, curious to see how they come out here. But not impossible to think that Jake Dickert is improving this team week over week. So,
I mean, he has to be.
Yeah. They've got a shot here, I would say. But I think I'm with you. Hokies win close here, 3-4 point kind of win. Will Secor has a question for you, Mike. At what point do we start talking about Montgomery as a permanent coach? Is that even on the table?
I don't think it's on the table. Well, I don't want to say never. I mean, if they win like 6 or 7 straight, it's definitely on the table. Then we're talking about, oh, okay, is this like an ACC title contender? Not like to win the league, but to at least go to Charlotte. I don't think we got to worry about that yet. Let's see if they beat Wake Forest.
Yeah, I don't get the impression that he was hired as a potential full-time candidate. Like,
right?
I think the Hokies are going to shoot a little bit elsewhere. We'll say. Yeah.
Good way of putting
it. All right, Wake covering, Virginia Tech probably winning. Both of us have the under locked up, under 50.5. Anything else here, Mike?
Nope.
Last conference game, we got 3:30 on the ACC network. The Syracuse Orange on the road in Dallas, taking on the SMU Mustangs. The Ponies, a 17.5-point home favorite here, totals 58.5. Syracuse, obviously, game 2, Ricky Collins kind of situation. This I don't know. This is kind of a lot of points for an SMU team that has been a little bit shaky this year. Even with Syracuse coming to town, SMU's defense also a lot less intimidating, I think, than Duke's for the sake of a freshman quarterback trying to make things happen. I'm a little tempted to take the Orange here, at least to cover. And, I don't know. I think they could make this kind of interesting or uncomfortable for SMU for a while.
That makes one of us land with SMU. That Syracuse game last week was a tough watch, man. They need a bye week real bad.
Mm-hmm. Do they have one coming? Hang on, let me look.
I mean, SMU coming off a bye too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. SMU's coming off a bye here. 2 weeks to prepare. You also get the benefit of having Ricky Collins on film, which is helpful. So you see kind of what the Syracuse offense is going to look like with him. I think that's to your benefit on a bye week. So, yeah, I'm going to lay him. SMU's a much better team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially without Angeli. With Angeli, this is, what do you think? Like a SMU 12.5?
With Angeli?
Mm-hmm.
Man, from a handicapping standpoint, like, Angeli can't be worth more than like 4 points.
That's what I'm saying. Like 12, 13.
But even that feels like a lot.
It does.
With the way that Syracuse was playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. The spread feels like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So that's where I think I want Syracuse in the points here. Famous last words in this particular spot. Like this could be really ugly.
Yeah.
Give me Syracuse plus the 17.5. It's mostly about not trusting SMU's defense to get enough stops and to really get this much margin. I do think that SMU wins by like 10 to 13 points, that kind of thing. But
I was going to ask you the opposite question. How many stops do you think Syracuse is going to get here?
Yeah, and that's where I'm putting a little bit of faith in Fran Brown and E-Rob is like come up with something. Now, again, this is a situation where SMU, they're coming off a badly needed bye week, I think. Syracuse playing in their 6th straight game.
Yeah.
So that, man, I already said Syracuse, so I'm going to stick with it. But, like, this could end up being a terrible pick. Like, they
self out of it if you want.
They could win this, like, 48-14 or something like that. Like, this could just be a total blowout, and that's entirely on the table.
I think it might be.
Yeah. I'm gonna say under 58.5. Kind of a lot of points. Not sure how many Syracuse is going to score. Yeah. I don't know if my analysis is making any amount of sense here, but I don't know. A lot of points on the spread. Two teams kind of in weird places. Syracuse and the under, I guess. It's probably a correlated situation.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily. I could see SMU in the under just because I don't know how many points Syracuse is going to score.
Mm-hmm.
Could you see, Joey? Could you see like 42-13?
Sure.
Under, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my lean is under here. Like, I think SMU would have to get into the mid to high 40s for this to go over because I don't think Syracuse is scoring more than, I don't know, a couple touchdowns. What's out of curiosity, what's the well, I mean, we can do the math on it, but I'll look it up real quick.
Implied score?
No, well, yes and no. I was looking up the team total for Syracuse, so sort of.
58-29. This will be like, what is that, like 37-20, maybe? 38-21?
Yeah.
Yeah, 38-21.
Yeah. Yeah. The team total is 20.5 for Syracuse.
Yeah.
I might be interested, like if you're into team totals, like a Syracuse team total under 20.5 might be a play, especially if you're on SMU side here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that.
So I wanted to bring up, well, not that one. I wanted to bring up this comment from Lee Nobody. SMU's defense has been cheeks.
Hold on.
But has it been as bad as it looks, right? I mean, the two worst defensive performances are against two pretty good offenses, right? Baylor and TCU.
Yeah.
So is it a matter of you just went up against two really good offenses, or is this a matter of your defense really is ass? It's probably somewhere in the middle. We'll find out.
Yeah. I'd imagine it's a bit of column A, bit of column B kind of situation.
Yeah. Small sample size still.
Defense definitely does not seem what it was last year. I think it's been a step back.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely took a step back.
But I'm a question. Yeah, like I don't know that I'm really willing to commit to the fact yet that they are like definitively terrible on defense either. So
correct. Yeah, correct.
So, but this will be a good data point. I think the Syracuse offense that is a bit, I don't know, crippled, or like what's the word you would use by you're running your second string quarterback out there, minimally experienced. Like if they rack up 24 points on you, that's probably not a great sign.
Yeah, that's probably the thing we should be looking for in this game is like how bad is SMU's defense.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right, Syracuse plus 17 in the hook for me. Mike laying them with SMU. Both of us on the under 58.5. Kind of a lot of points. So I don't feel that confident in anything here to lock up though, Mike.
No, I'm good on this one.
Last one of the ACC games, 2:00 ESPN Plus and the ACC Network Extra. The NC State Wolfpack at home, taking on the Campbell Camels. Again, I don't have a lot here. NC State pretty badly needs a get right spot here. I think I would say that for sure. I don't think that this is the kind of game that has a chance to really, really bring out the toxicity that might be going on a little bit in Raleigh with the fans and the coaching situation.
Yep.
But man, if Campbell like wins the coin toss and goes down and scores to start the game, like look out, because I don't know, the Boo Birds could be, I don't know. Things do not seem like their vibes are off in Raleigh.
Think they're going to cover here?
Do we have a number?
42.5.
I don't
no
think
way,
so.
Right?
That's a lot of points. That is a lot of points.
How long you leaving Hollywood and CJ Bailey in there?
Yeah. Let's see. NC State, they're at Notre Dame next week, so not very long, I would guess. I would hope that you're on the backups with 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
What do you think that ND line is going to be? Especially if Notre Dame's a multiple score favorite against Boise Saturday. Assuming they take care of business there, what do we think that NC State line is going to be?
Notre Dame has issues on defense. They do not have issues on offense. NC State has issues on defense. What do you put that total at? 66.5? Like,
yeah, that will be a principal over bet.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got to remind ourselves of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, this won't be interesting in the second half, I don't think. The only interesting part might be kind of how does the first quarter unfold. Like NC State will win this game. I feel comfortable with that, but just how they get there might there is a path where this could get a little bit iffy that gets talked about on talk radio on Monday.
Yep,
is what I'm saying. So, no pick here. I don't think NC State covers 42.5, but again, no picks, so we're fine.
Right.
Mike, do you want to recap our locks?
Yeah, let's do that.
And then we got one more thing that is really unfortunate that producer Scott is not here.
I know. I'm really bummed about this because there was a special sound drop that he amended from last week and he played it for Joey and I, and it's so good.
Producer Scott has been in the kitchen trying to win a Michelin star. Like, if we're being honest.
I mean, it'll probably end up in the audio version of this podcast. I'm sure he'll try to drop that in there, but
That's right. That's right. Reason to download it if you're with this live, even. So check that out.
Yeah.
Locks of the week. I have Clemson minus a 14.5 at North Carolina. Mike has over 62.5 in Virginia and Louisville. And we are both on under 50.5 in Wake Forest and Virginia Tech. Those are your locks of the week. Mike, one more thing we got to do before we get out of here.
I don't care. I'm a sicko.
Sickos picks of the week. Last week, Mike, you went 1-3. 1-3. Judges still trying to decide if we're taking 4 picks at a time or not. But Stanford first half team total under 13.5. San Jose State first half team total under 10.5. Something called Lindenwood plus 20.5 against Miami of Ohio. And Central Michigan first quarter minus 1.5 against Eastern Michigan. 1-3 brings you to 2-4 on Sicko's picks of the week so far. I had South Alabama plus 12.5 against North Texas. You watched Bad Beats on Monday. You know what happened there. We were really close to hitting that one, but the Mean Green decides to go for 2, and what you going to do about it? Oh well. Producer Scott, Oklahoma State first half plus 11.5 against Baylor. That came in. So Scott on the board. He's 1-2 on the year. I am 2-1, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Mike, the floor is yours. Your Sickos pick of the week for week 6.
Cameron Underwood, Michigan native. Hell yeah, fucking right. Directional Michigan, baby.
I was going to say. Cam, that very, very small part of the Venn diagram between like big Miami people and big Michigan people. That might be a bigger middle part than I really think it is, but what do I know?
Maybe. Maybe. All right, you want me to go first?
Yeah. You go first.
All
I got to
right.
figure out what I'm doing here.
All right, I'm not gonna be totally irresponsible this week, and throw like 4 out there, or 3 plus like a bonus, and the bonus be the only one that hits. I have 2. San Diego State. We're semi-familiar with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They played Cal, and not only did they play Cal, they shut out Cal 2 weeks ago, 34-0. One thing I wanted to note in that game, San Diego State, they had 2 defensive touchdowns. You'll remember, Joey, when we were doing our live recap.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't good for Cal. 34-0. We had a question on that recap. Like, was this a Cal defense situation? Like, probably not, right? It was Cal's offense just kind of totally imploding, and there were 2 defensive scores. Not great. That was confirmed last week when San Diego State followed up that performance by beating Northern Illinois on the road, the Thomas Hammock-led Northern Illinois Huskies, by a final score of 6-3. Joey, San Diego State's offense is not very good, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
They're not very good. They have a home game, and we're going to be keeping an eye on this on the recap. They have a home game, Joey, on CBS Sports Network, while you and I will be recording the recap on Saturday night.
Hell yeah.
10:30 p.m. kick against Colorado State. Joey.
Wait, hold on. That's on Friday.
Oh, this on Friday. Oh,
yeah.
That's a bummer.
You got a weeknight.
All right, well, we'll be recapping it. Well, good. I got some weeknight Friday night action then. Fine. Fair enough. I know what I'm doing Friday night. Friday night, 10:30, CBS Sports Network. Joey, San Diego State team total under 23.5.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go.
I don't care. I'm a sicko. That's my first one.
Oh my God.
Second one.
Okay. San Diego. Hold on. One more time. That was San Diego State.
Team total
under
23.5 against Colorado State.
All right.
We all square? Do you want to go next?
No, I'm still working.
Okay.
You keep going.
Joey, I can't believe that this is going on the board as well. Apparently we're going to be watching a lot of football on Friday night.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Charlotte is one of the worst teams in the FBS. You agree?
Yes, we do.
Okay. They are traveling on the road, Joey, to the Alex Galesh-led South Florida Bulls. Joey, Charlotte is a 27.5-point underdog here. It's not going to be pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In fact, this game could be over at halftime. You'd agree, right?
Sure. Yeah. South Florida trying to make a statement for sure.
They are. Couple things here. I think South Florida is going to want to get this game over with quick. Because next week, they have a big one, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
An American Conference action. South Florida travels to North Texas next week. North Texas is good, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big matchup with big American Conference title implications.
Mm-hmm.
A week from Friday. It's another Friday night game, by the way.
Yep.
I think Charlotte's going to get smoked here, Joey. I think South Florida is going to win this game. I think they're going to cover. And I think they're going to try to get this over with quickly. So, Joey, I'm on the Charlotte 49ers. Fourth quarter.
Oh, my.
Plus 6.5.
And
I feel kind of good about it.
Fourth quarter plus 6.5 against South Florida. Okay.
I feel good about it. I think the rationale's there. I think Charlotte is an abject disaster. I think they're a terrible football team. But can they compete with South Florida's second and third stringers? We're going to find out.
That's the question. That's the question, Mike. Everyone knows this.
Now, what would be a real bummer, right, is if Charlotte covered the game spread and then somehow lost the fourth quarter. That would be a real bummer.
Yeah.
Outscored by a touchdown in the fourth quarter, but covered the game spread. You'd have to check on me.
Yeah. Mike, you're steering into this Sickos pick a little harder than I am, I think. But I am going to try to keep up just a little bit. Can we go to Norfolk?
Oh,
for a
God.
second?
Oh, God.
As the Old Dominion Monarchs are hosting the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. And Mike, I'm going to probably take a couple liberties here. But if I had to describe Coastal Carolina so far this year,
bad.
Cheeks and a half, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
They are terrible. Like 2 years ago, whatever it was with Jamie Chadwell, completely out the window. Like it's not there anymore. Meanwhile, Old Dominion, a little bit prickly. Like you saw that,
Mm-hmm. Oh, unfortunately.
Hokies, the whole, they found out.
Yeah, you, me, and Dupree could have run out there, though, than that night. Probably scored some points on that Virginia Tech defense. There was a lot of quit there.
Did you ever see that movie? I forget if I've seen it.
It's been a while. Yeah, I have, but it's been a while.
Old Dominion's 3-1. They beat Liberty by 2 touchdowns last week. A couple weeks ago. I think they're off a bye. Coastal is terrible. Total the spread here is 21.5. 20.5. Kind of a lot of points, full game, opens you up to a backdoor cover kind of situation. But as I said, Mike, you've been really steering into these Sickos picks, and I'm gonna try to lean in just a little bit. Give me Old Dominion first half minus 10.5 in this game.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I think that they are going to make a mess of this Coastal team. It's just a matter of when they let off the gas. I don't think they'll do it before halftime. So Monarchs first half minus 10.5 against the Chanticleers is my Sickos pick of the week.
I don't care. I'm a sicko. I'm really bummed about this because Scott said he had one, maybe two, and one of them he mentioned to us was going to be in the MAC. So we are getting robbed tonight, Joey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're getting robbed.
If we're lucky, maybe Scott will not only edit in his new sound drop, but also his pick into the post-production.
If we could only be so lucky.
If he's going to do so, he should do so in 3, 2, 1. There it was. Scott's Sickos pick of the week. Producer Scott. Absolutely disgusting. Cannot believe he made that pick. That is wild, Mike.
That was beautiful.
The magic of audio editing. Everyone loves it. All right. Anything else? Week 6 before we get out of here. How many ad reads did we forget this time?
None.
Yeah, I think we're good. I mean, we mentioned the home field apparel home dog of the week. We didn't actually do the ad read for that, but stuff's in the description, so go find it there.
Cam, ODU at JMU in 2 weeks will be a game. It will be good.
The Virginia State Championship, some are calling it.
I don't like it here. This is a spot. This is a place in my fandom I just do not enjoy very much.
I feel attacked.
I feel attacked. Assault.
Mike, should be a fun week. Let's work on getting out of here so we can go watch some games and come back and recap them. We're on Twitter at FTRSJoey, at Mike McDaniel SI, together at BC Podcast ACC, youtube.com/at the ACC Football Podcast. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit the like button. We would appreciate that. Come join us Saturday night. We'll be doing a live recap. Theoretically, things change. Keep an eye on the social medias. If things do change, we'll tell you what's going on. Otherwise, be here or be square. Apple, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you go find your audio podcast, go find us there. Hit the subscribe button, leave reviews there. We would appreciate that. basketballcowerspodcast@gmail.com is the email. Thank you. Mike, anything else before we jump out of here and go watch some games?
No. Shout out Scott.
Shout out to producer Scott being a good dad and a good producer and editor.
Enjoyed the 15 minutes with him.
Yeah.
It's probably
still can't believe he made that pick that he made. Just unbelievable.
What a pick. What a pick it was.
We got to figure out the producer's pick of the weekend here somewhere too. We didn't get that from him before he had to dip out.
You should drop that in too.
Yeah. He's got time.
And if he doesn't, we're just making life really difficult for him.
That's right. Mike, you want to go watch some games?
Yes. Will is already Will Sikor. See you Sunday night, LOL. I mean, he knows us well.
Hey.
Maybe.
Yeah, I know. Probably.
Especially with the way things have been going on Saturday nights with Sports Illustrated of late.
That's right.
Would not shock me if you actually do see us Sunday night. We'll see.
Are we letting Cam come on the recap if Miami wins or only if they lose?
Is Cam still here?
I'm just being a jerk now. He was in the comments a minute ago. I'm sure he's still here. Yeah.
He's still here.
Hi, Cam.
I just want to wait a second for his comment to come in.
Cam, you're welcome on either way.
Yes.
We would love to have you on the recap if you're still going to be awake at the middle of the night on Saturday, basically when we do these. So you are invited either way. We would love to have you.
Probably depends on how this game goes.
Yeah. Yeah. We will find out. All right, let's get out of here. We will go watch some games, come back, and recap them. How's that sound?
That sounds good to me.
For Mr. Mike McDaniel, for Mr. Producer Scott, I'm Joey Weaver. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will talk to you again very, very soon. Enjoy the games. And until then, go ACC.